Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm going to give an update. Now, I know a lot of people don't catch everything on a video for an update, so hopefully I will post this in a little while. I mentioned on a video the other day that I spoke to my dad on the phone Saturday, and I thought it was the last time I would speak to him. So today my father died, and it's one day before his 89th birthday. And I'm ready to fly out as soon as I can get a ticket, meaning hopefully I'll be flying out tomorrow, July 25th, and I'm not sure how long I will be in New Jersey, and I'll be in New York City again, because when I'm there, where I grew up, my hometown of North Bergen, New Jersey, is right by the major Lincoln Tunnel, George Washington Bridge. So that's why I often tell people I grew up in New Jersey right by New York City. So I'm going to be up there for my dad's funeral and whatever I have to help take care of, the final things. And instead of posting, I was going to write a little note, but I'll put off all of our posting until I'll do some videos up there. So this would be the little update. Of course, it's worthy of an update, and maybe a little bit of talking about my dad on this video. My dad was a firefighter, and he was a captain for the North Bergen Fire Department. And as a kid growing up, he retired, back in the 80s. But I knew about the fire department job, that it was a good job from my dad. And when I came to Texas, my dad wanted me to test back in our hometown. I did test up there, and it was a 3-year test. It was like 1,000 people test for that. I did very well. I was like number 24 on the list, and they always said, if you're not like at least within the first 100 out of, everybody that tests, you don't have a chance. And I did very well because I was young, I was in good shape, all that. But they never hired for those 3 years. It was a 3-year eligibility list. My dad wanted me to test, but I had already gotten hired at the Kingsville Fire Department. So this is like in the early 80s. And he hoped, he renewed my driver's license, my New Jersey driver's license. He used to renew it, at least in the early days, just in case John won't come back someday. They never thought I'd stay my whole life in Texas, which pretty much I have. So he was the one that introduced me into what a good job it could be if you use your time right. And so I did retire from Texas. Some people get that confused. But I grew up with my dad. We used to hunt with all the firemen, so I knew them. The firemen and their kids kind of know each other. And so I was in that culture. But sure enough, I did that job like my father did, in his footsteps. My father, he's a Christian man, was a Christian man. And he always instilled good values in me. I'm looking at a picture of him that I took a few years ago. This is a picture on my wall. I didn't plan that. But that's my dad, and that's my mom, sitting in the old house where we grew up. And over the years, he always liked, as a kid, he took me mushroom hunting, which is something that Italians, which I'm an Italian, they do. And so he would do things with me. And my dad was not real young when he had me. I had my first daughter, Bethany, when I was very young. And so my dad was, he would have been 89 tomorrow, and I'm 57. So, he was a good dad that, did good things with his kid. And I only had one other sister who was a few years older than me, and I led my sister to the Lord many, many years ago. In the early days of becoming a Christian, you witness to your family. And my family heard the message and the gospel for many years. And my sister did get saved and was very much into the Lord. But sadly, she passed away a few years ago. She was a little older than me. And so it would now, we had a small family, just one sister, my mom and dad. So it's now my mom and me. And when you deal with end-of-life issues, I try to, help them settle some of the things that are, I see somewhat foresight. And I've given advice to my mom about her still being in that area and some of the things that would be better for her. I invited her many years ago if she wanted to live with me. But people from the Northeast living there their whole lives, Texas is different, okay? So instead of writing a note, which I was going to write a note and try to post that, the last few days something very strange or interesting happened on many of our online sites, and I've been swamped with, gratefully, I want to thank all my new friends. I'm not sure why we've had thousands of different people connect within a few days. I'm not sure why that happened, and of course I've been online for a long time, so it was interesting. I shared one of our posts that said, "In the last days I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy." And that scripture came up with some of my homeless friends. And so I just thought, well, for whatever reason, for all of our new connections and new friends, which have been a lot, kind of a lot. So I'm grateful though. So that was it, something strange in about a 2.5 day period. So hopefully those of my friends that do watch the videos will get this update. And this should be it until you see me in New York City, New Jersey. This should be the last one. I'm ready to, leave tonight. But if I can get a ticket, if I could get one for tonight, I would. It's very short notice. And there'll be a little disruption. The way I function in my life is I have a kind of rigorous pattern of, fasting every day, like eat once a day type thing. And I'm very addicted to the pattern because that's what keeps me functioning, being on it like that. And if I miss a little bit of it, it's difficult for me. So the way I manage to keep I've been sober almost 7 years now. I used to drink a lot. And so my discipline is being very daily. And so I'm ready to make this change. For how long I'm up there, I'm not sure, a few weeks or whatever. And this is the update. I want to bless everybody. I want to encourage everybody. As you see this in a few minutes, today is July 24th, 2019. And thank to all the new people that joined. These are all for you. Take these things that you find on our multiple sites, videos that you find are profitable, share them, use them, repost everything. And I want to bless all you guys, encourage you to keep the course, that the Lord has given you in your life. Follow that. And this should be it until you see me up in New Jersey. God bless everybody.